Testing, testing. Should work now. You guys can hear me now, right? All right, good morning, guys. Good morning, guys. Sorry, my audio was real messed up. So very interesting spot that we're in today. On NQ, you can see that we swept all the equal highs that formed over the previous week. And we are pushing past this daily fair value gap that we have here with a lot of strength, as well as sweeping this buy side liquidity on the daily. So right now, I think the market is showing strength here. Well, obviously it's showing strength, but I think that there is a likelihood we will continue here. However, there is also the possibility that this is a liquidity sweep. Oh my God. Hold on one second, guys. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Need to sort out this dog situation. All right. So obviously we've swept this daily high. So there's a potential that we're going to reject here. So I'm going to be watching for potential inversion for value gaps at the top. But I will obviously not ignore the fact that we do have the all-time highs right above us. We also have this daily buy side right here that I'm going to label. You guys always want to be labeling buy side liquidity above you. And the way you know it's buy side liquidity, obviously, are going to be these wicks. And then, of course, just it being a high in the market. So all these daily highs are going to be important. And then I'm slowly going to go down to different time frames. I just want to check the weekly real quick. Yeah, so there's nothing here. And then slowly go down to different time frames and see if there's any PD arrays that maybe we're rejecting from or that we filled. So you can see we've obviously filled this 4-hour gap. Another thing you can mark, guys, is the mean threshold of this 4-hour gap. So I'll label it in gray, but that is also, if you guys study ICT, you know that wicks, primarily that 50% of the wick also acts as a gap. So keep that in mind. That can be a super important spot. And apart from that, I don't really see anything else that I'm really thinking is going to be a rejection zone here. We do also have an hourly fair value gap right here that we can extend out in time. Actually, let's do that so you guys can see it. So we will pay attention to see how we react within this hourly, which also comes perfectly at that daily high, right? So we just tagged into the daily, and that also tagged into this hourly fair value gap. So keep that in mind. Just want to check really quick if there's anything else on the hourly here. And by the way, guys, there's no red folder news today, only orange folder. So that doesn't mean you can't trade with a live account, but I love to save my bigger trades for the red folder news days. This might be a kind of lackluster day, not 100% yet, but I'm going to be paying attention to what happens in this hourly gap pretty much is what I'm trying to say. You can see that in the London session, so we gapped up on Sunday. We had a huge push up. We swept 2 and then 3 sets of equal highs, and now we're continuously pushing here. So I don't know exactly where we're going to be going from here. I really have to see more price action and see what happens in this hourly gap. Maybe we come up to the mean threshold and then we reject, but If we get a really good inversion setup, which could potentially happen here, so like if this hourly inversion closes back below, this could be a pretty decent setup. I'm not a huge fan of this one, and the reason being, I guess it's pretty much just screen time, but I know early morning within a macro time, if we get a sweep like this and then we get a rejection like this, sometimes what they do in this situation is they'll bring it really close to the internal low and then they'll come right back up because we haven't filled a lot of this hourly gap yet. So I'm going to be very patient today, especially with no red folder news. Just a heads up, again, guys, there's only orange folders today. But we'll see if we can get some kind of a setup. I do want to look at the rest of the market and take a look at ES real quick. Same thing, gapping up, very strong. And actually, ES is stronger than NQ right now, pushing quite a lot. Okay, I want to check the rest of my portfolios quick here. Okay. Whoopsies. Has anyone taken any trades this morning already? Ugh, keeps doing that. Okay, chips moving. SOXL's up 7%. Wow, Celsius pushing too. Hims is pushing. AMD, Palantir. Everything is pushing right now. The smaller stocks, at least. VIX is down. UNH is down. Lockheed Martin is down. Interesting. Yeah, my thought process right now is that we're probably going to come up and fill this hourly before going down. There needs to be a setup. There wasn't an inversion here. I would never have taken this. There was no major liquidity sweep. We basically just had a bullish London and Asia session, and there's not really any entries that I'm seeing here for my model. Maybe if we come back and tap into this 1 minute fair value gap, there might be a long setup that forms. But right now, I'm not a huge fan of what I'm seeing. I think this is likely to continue. Again, why? There is an hourly fair value gap here. We've had pretty strong displacement above this daily high. We have also the fourth standard deviation of this whole Asia move up here. Yeah, so we're just pumping. Could we get a rejection from this third and fourth standard deviation? Absolutely. But I think we're likely to fill this hourly gap to the full extent. So all the way up to, again, this hourly gap, then the wick of the first candle to the wick of the third. That's where I think the market is going right now. If we go higher than that and push past the fourth standard deviation, amazing. But I will also let you guys know, if you guys don't know this already, this indicator is actually pretty good, but it's called ICT Everything by Cold Brew Roche. It basically marks the Asia range. You get to pick the timing of it. I do from 8 to midnight pretty much, but you guys can choose what you want. That's what I normally use. If we get past every standard deviation, we get past the range of Asia, the less likely we are to see continuation. So in this case, we've passed 1, 2, 3 standard deviations of Asia. We're very close to the fourth. So if we do pass the fourth, like you shouldn't be, it's not the best idea to be longing in this quadrant, right? You want to be probably longing before the first or the second, targeting them, not longing within this quadrant. It's more likely that the market is going to reverse the more standard deviations we cross. Does that make sense? The other thing I want to look for here, I'm going to delete the equal highs that we took out already. I want to see if there's any equal lows that are forming here on NQ. I didn't see any earlier when I looked, but maybe there are some that I missed. So let me just quickly double check, because those will also be a target for price if we do end up reversing today. Okay, so immediately I see one set here. Okay, nothing there. Okay, no other ones. But again, obviously we have this gap on that from the Sunday open. This is called a new week opening gap, so this is also a potential target. But I am potentially looking for shorts after this fourth standard deviation, even though I think it's probably going to get tagged. So if you guys want to do a long scalp to the fourth standard deviation, you can, but I'm not going to. So once we tap into the fourth, again, my objective right now is that we fill this entire hourly fair value gap. There is no setup for me to take here, but I still think it's probably going to go up, tap this fourth standard deviation, and then go a little bit higher. From there, maybe we get a rejection. We'll see. But of course, I'm going to wait until I see something A+. Because you guys can see we did sweep the daily liquidity. You can see the daily chart here to the right of the screen. I know it's kind of blocked by my face. But this is that daily high that we swept, but we're not, there's no lack of displacement. We're getting displacement here past the daily high, which tells me that we are likely to continue higher. And so I immediately look for higher time frame targets. So in this case, the fourth standard deviation of Asia is here. The top of the hourly fair value gap is here. And it's also perfectly in line with that 50% of that 4-hour wick. So all of these general areas are targets for me today. So I'm just going to wait patiently, see what happens after we tag this, and maybe fill this hourly, and then go from there. We're tapping into this 1 minute fair value gap here. I'd like to see that be used as support to go up to that 4 standard deviation. And then from there, we'll see if we can get some kind of a short setup. So we didn't quite tag into that 1 minute, interestingly enough, but we should still tag into it and then go higher. Okay, so if you're a bull, you're obviously praying that this 1 minute gap is going to hold. I think it will, but again, we're super close to that 4 standard deviation, so you have to be careful. This is not my model. It's not something I would enter on, but I'm just saying if you're in, you want to see this 1 minute fair value gap hold to go higher. And you can see it is being used to go higher, which is a good sign, obviously, but need to see continuation here. All right, so not a good sign right here that we're potentially failing this 1 minute gap. So you have to see if we close below this. Do I think this is a good inversion? Not ideally. Because of the lack of displacement above the daily high, I think this is probably still going to be used to go higher, but got to be careful. Okay, Nike interestingly pushing a bit today. Not like crazy, but we're getting some green. I do want to see this 65 level on Nike come soon. That's going to be an important level. It's a monthly fair value gap. If you guys actually want to even consider calls for Nike, I think that this is going to hit in the next, I don't know, few days, maybe even the next week, week and a half. We'll see. Okay, so if you were a bull now, you want to see this 1 minute fair value gap hold. If we start closing below it, then that could potentially signal a market structure shift. Not like a potentially a high time frame market structure shift, but an intraday shift where we go down, take out some PDRAs, and then go higher. But ideally, this should hold. But this is not my model. There was one inversion gap that happened this morning, and I did not like this. We swept a daily high. There's no way I'm taking this 1 minute inversion after a daily high liquidity sweep. This is normally where I look for short setups. So, yeah. Okay, so we got to close below this on the 1 minute. That technically signifies that the market structure is changing intraday, so we can maybe shift to a short-term sell model. So my eye immediately is drawn towards this low right here, and then this 1 minute fair value gap. But again, none of this is my model. I mean, this is technically my model, but it's way too small. And we don't really have any signs that this is going to be a sell day yet. We don't have any major liquidity. The liquidity is really this hourly fair value gap and this fourth standard deviation. So if we get a short setup from within here, or maybe after this daily high, that will be a more A+ setup to the downside in my view. But right now, this is too small. We have too much liquidity, major liquidity resting above us. So there's no reason for me to take or look for shorts here. Hope that makes sense, guys. If it doesn't, also feel free to ask, because I know sometimes this can sound confusing, especially if you're new to the concept, but don't be afraid to ask. Well, sorry guys. Also, if you look on the 4 hour, we have quite a bit of low resistance liquidity here. So once we do end up pumping, I think all this is going to get smoked. So just be aware that once we do fill this hourly, I mean, it might be today. I'm guessing they're going to save it for FOMC on Wednesday. But this is a target for me, all these black lines here. So if you look at where we are now on the 1 minute, whoops, 1, 2, 3. All those are going to be targets soon. Okay, so nice push so far. I think, again, this has been touched now. Could we reject from here? Absolutely. But I think this is probably going to push higher than the fourth and fill this hourly now, if I had to guess. So again, be aware. So you see why I didn't take this short, guys? We never even swept the low. Literally exactly what I called. It's pretty incredible how that works. I literally said, the reason I probably wouldn't take this, and this one as well, was that we'd come super close to this low, not sweep it, and then go higher. And I think this is probably going to push higher here to fill more of this hourly gap now. Okay, nice push. Forming a little 1 minute order block here. I think, again, this is going to go higher here and fill more of this hourly gap. None of this is my model, but I'm just letting you guys know why I didn't like this short. Because we had too many high time frame PD rates above us. I said that before this happened. So now we just wait. If you guys want to scalp this, I mean, sure, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying it's not the best thing to do, in my opinion. But I do think this is going higher. Even though we just passed that 4 standard deviation, everything you're longing here is ultra high risk. Just remember that. But it doesn't mean it's not going to go higher. I think it will. This is my general target. And then if we're lucky enough to push through this daily, that'll be amazing. But I honestly doubt it. This inversion looks a little bit better to me, to the downside. Let me see if it's forming on anything else. Nah. Okay, so every time we hit a high time frame PD rate, my confidence on reversals goes higher and higher. So this is not a singular gap. This is the reason it's not 100% A plus to me. But if we're able to close below both of these, this is a really good stop to break even. I think this is just going to be used to drive higher. But if you guys want to try a short, the reason I don't like this one, again, is because it's not a singular gap. But there is a pretty good stop to break even, which is right here. And then your target would be this 1 minute fair value gap and this 1 minute gap. Pretty good RR trade as well, but I think this is just going to be used to drive higher and tag further into this hourly buy side and hourly fair value gap. And then maybe from here we'll get some kind of an inversion. So I wouldn't count on this one working to the downside, but just so you guys have it there, or I'll keep it labeled here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But what I think is going to happen here, and again, this is just a guess, but I think this is going to happen. And they're going to come up and fill this, so. I think what we'll probably see here is a little bit of consolidation. It's going to chop around and fill a little bit of these two 1 minute bullish for value gaps, and then we're going to get probably see some kind of a spike up into here, if not already. Is anybody taking trades based on this? Again, you guys understand this is super low probability trading. There's no setup here. We're past the 4 standard deviation. This can easily just get destroyed here, but I think it's going higher. But I hope nobody's taking trade setups based on this, and unless you're scalping with like a micro or something. Ugh. Okay, so tapping back to that 4 standard deviation. Again, could we reject from here? Absolutely. But I think any stab down into here is probably going to be used for continuation. There's no 1 minute inversion here to take. So just keep that in mind. Excuse me. Not even a 2, not a 3, not a 5. We have an order block here on the 5 minute. Again, I just think this is going to be used to go higher. But we will see. There is a little 1 minute inversion. Do you guys want to try this as a scalp? If we get it. So it would look like this. Targeting the hourly buy side, or maybe like 10 points above it, or 10 points below it, something like this. I don't think that's a bad trade. I mean, I would do this with a micro. I wouldn't do this with a full size. If this closes above, I mean, there's no liquidity sweep, but I think this will probably take us back up to high of day, and then maybe we can do like a little scalp. Can even make it a 1.8 to 1 RR. Okay, so no close above, so I couldn't take this even if I wanted to, but I'm still thinking this is going to be used to go higher here. Okay, decent push there. But again, you want to see it close above in order to take this long. And again, this is something I would only take with micros. I would not take this with a full size position. It's way too risky. Just under a few seconds till this candle close. Let's see if we get the close above. No close above. It was right on it. So you cannot take this trade even if you wanted to. Is it going to push? Still probably. But again, I'm not going to be taking this. Maybe a micro on a funded, but that's it. If you guys are going to take it. But there's not even a close, so you can't take this even if you wanted to. Just a heads up. Oh, and there's the close, guys. By the way, sorry, I wasn't paying attention. This should go back up to this internal high and probably push higher here. All right, and there is the TP. So if you guys took that, there it is. Again, I'm not trying to take these little micro trades, guys. I want to see something A plus for a quarter, I mean at least a half for a full size position. This is something I would take maybe a fifth size, if that. But you can see the close above. So the RR was not as good here. It was about a 1.26. And now the hourly is close to being filled. So once the hourly gets filled, that is when I will look for potential shorts. But we'll see, because we have that daily high as well. It needs to be so clean. And you just have to be able to just pay attention to how the market prints and see what is a good setup and what is not. I don't know how else to explain it to you guys, but for me, it's you have to see obviously a high time frame draw get filled or get swept. So in this case, there's an hourly fair value gap, and I need to see an A plus fair value gap form and inversed. Only then will I be able to take a short. But immediately right now, my eye is drawn to this low right here. We never swept it, and I think we actually formed perfect equal lows here. Yeah. So I'm gonna label this equal lows. This is gonna be a good draw today if we can get some kind of a spike up and then a really nice inversion. I'll look for a short. Oh, let's go. Riot is back to green. Is anybody in here in the Riot trade that we took in the Discord? Sorry, guys. I'll show you guys real quick. Do I have Riot on this watch list? No, it's under my crypto watch list. Riot is back up to $10 and something. I think Riot has some really nice legs to push higher here. I want to see was it a weekly gap here? Yeah, the top of this weekly fair value gap, we just missed it by a couple of cents. Or did we not? Did we touch 1087? What's the high here? 1087. Okay, so we did fill this weekly gap. But I still do think there's probably legs higher for Riot. We have this daily gap at 1141 that needs to fill. And then after all this, we have all this low resistance liquidity here. We have a ton more here. And then ultimately the final part of it is up at this 24 level. So I think that there's a lot of room left for Riot to run. If you guys want a high risk, high reward play, I think this is setting up to go a lot higher here and tag all this daily buy side at the 12s and beyond. Okay, almost filling that hourly gap now. So let's see what happens once we do. And I'm immediately looking to the left of my chart to see if there's any A plus inversions here. I'm not seeing anything I love, at least not on the 1 minute. 3 minute doesn't look half bad. And then you would target the equal lows pretty much. So this is actually not a terrible trade. If we do get a 3 minute inversion down here, I don't think that's a half bad trade to target these equal lows. Next 3 minute candle closes at 36. So we got 3 minutes left on this. And there's no 5 minutes. So the 3 minute is the only clean one. If you guys want to try little scalps here to fill the hourly gap, you can. I don't think it's A plus, but you can do it if you want. And not quite a fill, but pretty much there. So do not be surprised if we get some kind of a reversal in this spot. Wow. And again, just because I see red candles does not mean I'm entering anything. I need to see confirmation. In this case, I see a pretty clean 3-minute inversion here. If we close below this, then I will take a short. Stop to break even for me will be this low right here. So I'm going to label it already. Stop to break even. So what does that mean, guys? Basically, if the 3-minute closes below this purple box, that is where you enter short. Your stop loss is a 3-minute close back above the box. Your stop to break even comes at the first internal low, and then your take profit comes at your general target, which for me is the perfect equal lows right here. Hope that makes sense, guys. Wow. Okay, so let's see. Oh no. This candle just printed, so we're gonna have to wait for the next 3 minutes for this to print. So if we get this to close down here by the 39-minute mark, I will take a short. But for now, we'll see how this reacts at the 3-minute gap. Do you guys want to take the 1 minute instead? I don't like that this volume imbalance is here. This does not look clean to me. The only clean fair value gap is the 3-minute to me here. So I'm going to be patient and wait. If you guys want to front run this, I think this is going to get hit, but do whatever you want. You have to think whoever is long the market here has their stop loss below this low. So that is why I think the market will drive down there. Oh, did the candle close below, by the way? Oh, okay, guys, this is a short. I am going to take a short here, and I'm going to target this low. My stop loss is going to be a 3-minute close back above. Just a heads up. So I'm not going to put my stop loss here yet. You know, I'm probably going to keep it at high of day, because if I'm wrong, this is probably just going to pump, so. Risking 275 to make 1,000. Again, 3-minute inversion. There's a decent stop to break even, and there's an obvious target. If you guys want to partial at the stop to break even, you can. I'm just not going to. Personally. Also now, if this low gets swept, I will move my stop to break even. If this low gets swept right here. All right, stop to break even here. And then I'm going to target this as my... So this was the stop to break even, but now that this low got swept, I'm moving it earlier. I hope that makes sense. I hope it just cleanly dumps now. Let's pray it does. Don't be afraid to buy back your position at this stop to break even, guys. If you want to also book profits here, you can move your stop above this high. I'm just going to leave it. I'll just keep it at 20, so at least we get something on it. Love to see this collapse here. And then again, the ultimate target is going to be at these equal lows. I love my entry on this trade. If this is going to go, we should not come back to this entry. We should just dump. Okay, beautiful so far. Again, guys, if your stop is not a break even here, it definitely should be. If your entry was where mine was, it needs to be... you need to have your stop at break even already, because any liquidity here that gets swept, we could easily just reverse back to the upside. And we didn't technically fill this hourly gap fully yet. It missed by a tick, but I still think this is enough for us to dump. Excuse me. Okay, so if I get stopped for break even here, it is what it is. But again, nothing better than a free trade, and that's what we have right now. Okay, almost stopped for break even, but not quite. And still waiting here. Wow, did not stop me out yet. And all right, there's the break even stop. So that was a free trade. Now I'm going to be patient. I'm not going to re-enter on the same leg. Even if we hold this 3-minute gap, I'm not going to re-enter it. If you guys want to, that's on you. I had my entry, I followed my rules, I've moved my stop to break even, and now I'm going to be done for the time being. There's no need to take anything else. If this didn't clean the deliver, it's likely that we're going to continue, sweep this high, fill the hourly, consolidate in the macro time, and then get something later. So I hope that was a learning lesson to you guys. This is how I execute. I wait for my model. I told you guys what I wanted before it happened. It happened. I executed. I moved my stop to break even, and I let it be. It was a free trade. What can I do? If this doesn't hit, it is what it is. And the reason I moved my stop to break even quicker, again, this was the original break even, but because we created a low, came up and returned below it, that was my sign to move to break even again. Because I know a lot of the times, especially if the hourly wasn't filled, we create a new low and we sweep it, then they sometimes don't hit this stop to break even and they go up and try and stop people out. Maybe come up and reverse again to buy side to make people lose money. So many different tactics the algorithms, market makers use to stop you out. So hope that made sense to you guys. Type 1 if that made sense, if you're not a bot and you're watching this. Made sense if you're not a bot and you're watching this. Sorry guys, I just accidentally clicked my name. Okay, it shows me that there's 9 people watching this, 1 on YouTube and 8 on X. Or 2 on YouTube. Oh, I forgot to put a thumbnail on YouTube. Damn. MT, it makes sense. Guys, make sure you click the live button on the bottom of the screen because sometimes it delays a lot. I don't know if MT when you started watching or if you're live, but there was about a minute something delay between when I asked it and when you typed. So now if you notice, we created this 3-minute inversion. We closed below it. Now we closed back above it. This is not A+ anymore for sure. I would be a lot more cautious about taking anything here. Let's see if there's maybe an SMT with ES. So you can see here that NQ made a lower high. Let's take a look at ES real quick. A lot stronger than NQ, I think. Pretty much a lot stronger. If you look at, actually no. The daily chart we still are pushing here, but let me look at the 1 minute real quick. So no SMT, they're both making lower highs. There might be an SMT with the Dow or something, but I don't use the Dow. Guys, make sure you like the stream too if you're watching. It really helps the algos. Okay, so another nice looking 1 minute inversion here. I'm not gonna lie, this looks pretty good. I'm hesitating to take it because I've already, again, I'm not gonna take this personally, guys. We already closed below the 3 minute and then closed back above it. So to me, this is probably gonna be bad PA. But if this 1 minute closes below, this is another short technically. The reason I don't love it as much, again, number 1, the 3 minute closed below and above. Number 2, we didn't sweep liquidity to the upside on NQ or ES. There's no SMT. And number 3, we're not even in a macro time, so not optimal. If you want to take it, you can. I just don't think it's optimal, personally. And we'll see if it even triggers, because right now we haven't closed below it, right? This candle closes in less than a minute. So if you guys really want to enter this and you close below, it's a pretty good stop, pretty good RR trade and a nice stop to break even, but I'm not taking it personally. This already failed the first inversion, so I'm not going to take it again. But whatever you guys decide to do is up to you. So no close below there. We got to wait for another minute. But you guys saw that that was an A plus setup. I took it, I executed on the screen, stopped to break even, and it was a free trade. Now that we've closed back above, this is not something I'm going to be taking. Even if it does work to the downside, it's not something I'm going to be taking. It's the same leg of price, no liquidity sweep. There's no reason to be executing anymore, in my opinion. I still do think odds are we're going to dump here. And this is a pretty good stop to break even, but I'm not going to execute personally. I've already taken my trade. I got stopped for break even. Okay, so that's technically the entry right there. Stop to break even on the trade comes at this low, and then you target the equal lows. Again, not financial advice. Do what you want. This is a pretty decent setup, though. But again, because we already closed below on the 3, then closed back above, this is why I'm not entering the trade again. If you are in this and your entry's right there, your stop loss is going to be a 1 minute close back above this inversion. Okay, not looking great. And I hope you guys realize again, there is a reason I'm not taking this. It's not just because. There is a reason. I've explained it many times on the stream. Now we are in a macro time, so it does make it a little bit more probable, but the reason I explained earlier is why I'm not taking it. The 3 minute inversion failed. There was no SMT at the highs, so I'm still not taking this. Also, we still have not fully filled this hourly gap. We have just basically one tick here that needs to be filled. So that is why I'm not taking this. I think this can easily come back up, sweep both of these highs, fill the hourly, push a little bit higher, and then maybe we get an inversion later from up here. And if you're short on this now, you're probably upset because you're like, why did I take this? It wasn't A+. I should have just listened to Ophir, to Oph. And now you technically have to wait for the 1 minute close back above. So this is not a stop out yet. But you're probably sweating because you're praying that this is not going to just pump here. 20 seconds left until the candle close. Let's see what happens. Still no close above. So this trade is technically still valid here. Okay, so it's still valid. Now you need to see a rejection. If it rejects, awesome. If it doesn't, just realize it wasn't an A plus trade. But this is definitely a candle you want to see in this situation. And now, by the way, this needs to be your new stop to break even. So if this low gets swept, you should move your stop to break even. Your entries here, you're probably going to get stopped out for a break even on it, but nonetheless, you still should move your stop. Whenever a new internal low forms, if you enter a short and a new internal low forms, that is your new stop to break even for this model. So right now, your stop should be at break even. You're probably going to get stopped out right here. Let's see what happens. And boom, there's a stop out for break even on this trade. Okay, so officially now, if you took that trade, you cannot complain that it's a loss because you should have gotten stopped out for break even there if you're following the model correctly. Did anybody take that short? Anybody at all? Okay, so I think I'm going to stay on until the end of this macro time. All right, so this looks like it's going to head down here. All right, so if you were in this trade and you didn't move your stop to break even because you're a degenerate, then that was the official stop to break even. Even though I think this is going to go lower here, it looks like the start of an intraday sell program targeting maybe this 1 minute fair value gap. Yeah. So I think where are we driving to now? Very likely this 1 minute fair value gap here. That's my thought process right now. I'm going to delete this stop to break even level. So again, why am I looking at this? This is an unbalanced 1 minute fair value gap. So this is an unbalanced PD array that I think we'll probably drive towards. So definitely if this low got swept, which it just did, and this low, it should just drive down. We should not stall here. pretty amazing how much of a difference the thumbnail makes. Normally I have like 20, 30 people across all the platforms here, especially on YouTube, and there's one person watching YouTube right now. And 10 people watching Twitter, I think. Okay, so pushing above this 1 minute inversion, again, your stop for sure should have been to break even at that low. So I hope those of you who are in this trade move your stop to break even. Whew. So realistically, one of two things is going to happen here. Either this is going to be the high or this volume imbalance, and we're going to again reject and continue lower towards these equal lows, or we're going to come back and fill this hourly buy side. I don't know which one is going to happen. I'm not going to pretend to. You're not going to know where the market is going to go at all times, guys. Don't be... This is a spot where you're basically just doing degenerate gambling. There's no reason to be taking a trade here. All the setups have already presented themselves, and everything else is just... it's like 50-50. I hope that makes sense. But again, to repeat, for those of you guys who are just entering the stream, this is the only trade that I took today. It was a 3-minute inversion. We closed below. I moved my stop to break even when this low got swept because we formed a new internal low on the 1 minute. The original stop to break even was this low right here, but we never got it. So I got stopped for break even on the trade. Now, who knows what's going to happen? Realistically, we're probably going to fill the hourly fair value gap that we missed by just a tick here. But everything else here is just degenerate gambling. I have no idea what's going to happen now. I executed my trade, I followed my plan, and I am done. There's no reason for me to take anything else in this leg of price. This is just designed to basically generate liquidity and make people tilt and lose money. We've already had our distribution leg today. You can see a big push up. This is likely consolidation before it continued to move higher, or it's the start of an intraday sell model. I don't know. But you guys have to learn, and part of the goal of this channel is to make sure you guys understand when is the right time to execute a trade, when is not. We already had our opportunity to execute. We follow the rules, we got stopped for break even, and we leave it alone. Everything else here is nonsense. Hope that makes sense, guys. This is all consolidation. It's designed to smoke you out. You see this big red candle, you're like trying to short this, targeting this low. I think this 1 minute gap is probably going to be filled at some point today, but this is not the time to be executing trades. I'm telling you right now. We've already had our distribution leg. Now this is consolidation. Then we probably will get a manipulation in the next macro time, and then maybe distribution. I don't know. But this is not the time to be executing. You should have been executing in this leg of price, not now when we're chopping around. So I think, guys, I'm going to call it a day here. We've took our trade. It didn't work out. I mean, it did work out. We got stopped for break even. The model presented itself correctly, but there's nothing else for me to take here. So what I'm going to do, I will stay looking at the charts. If I see anything, I'll call it in the community. If you guys want access, again, there's a link in the description. You get access to all my long-term trades, all my swing trades, option selling, day trading, and anything else that I post. But I wish you guys the best, and I will catch you guys in the Discord. All right?